Welcome everybody to today's session where we're going to be going through Microsoft Sway. We're going to be talking about how to build interactive and how-to presentations that don't require a presenter. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We're doing these live interactive sessions each week, so continue to join us in the future. So just a quick agenda for what we're going to be covering during this session. It is a 30-minute session, and then we will open it up for Q&A at the end. So to start, we just want you to understand that this is the prescriptive overview. So we're going to be going through like one example or use case on how to create a Microsoft Sway in one way. There are many ways to do it and many reasons why or different use cases, but we're going to go through one today. One of the things I want to cover as well is kind of when to choose a Microsoft Sway versus a PowerPoint. That's been a really popular question because they are both presentation tools. So we'll go through that. Then we'll go through the demonstration of how to set up, how to share, how to embed a Sway, just kind of a high-level overview of the different functions of Microsoft Sway. And as I mentioned before, at the end, we'll open it up for Q&A for anybody who's able to stick around. And if you have any questions, feel free throughout the session to post those questions right in the Q&A panel on the right-hand side of your screen. And Nathan Austin, who is producing today, will try and answer them offline and/or we'll answer them at the end. So. All right, just quickly, if you've been to any of our sessions, you know we like to just touch a little bit about MyTech, just to give you a little insight into who MyTech is. We are not a training company. We're actually business and technology consultants that serve the small to medium-sized businesses in both our locations in the Twin Cities and in Denver. Really what we're trying to do is help our clients implement a proven IT strategy that aligns with your business goals and remove your IT challenges. We understand that small businesses have a lot of challenges that they need to focus on, and IT just shouldn't be one of them. That's where we come in. So when we remove those IT challenges, you can focus on serving your customers better and being more adaptable to the other business challenges that you're facing. And in essence, we really want to make IT easy. We want you to feel that we made IT easy for you. And we're not always perfect at that. And we always challenge our clients to let us know when something wasn't easy for them so that we can grow and adapt. So, but at the end of the day, with the IT strategy being in alignment with your business goals, we feel that our clients achieve 4 times more value and productivity from their IT investments. So that's just a little bit about us and what we do. But let's get into why you're here today, which is Microsoft Sway. So what is Microsoft Sway? So it is a presentation application, but it's solely based in the cloud. It doesn't have a desktop version like PowerPoint. Additionally, it's a lightweight version of PowerPoint. So PowerPoint is loaded with different ways to add 3D graphics and transitions and things like that. It's very customizable. Sway is more of an outline. You're able to add images and text, and it will kind of do some of the animations and formatting for you. Really good for someone who's maybe not comfortable designing a big presentation, because this has a lot of templates and kind of that easy button to enter your information and let it make it presented in an easy to follow way. So when and why would you choose a Microsoft Sway over PowerPoint? So Microsoft Sway has some really cool features that allow you to embed other Microsoft 365 applications inside of it, including Forms, Power BI, Word documents, anything that you can put up into SharePoint, you can embed into these presentations, and then they auto update. So we'll give a couple examples in the future, but for something like an internal newsletter where maybe you have content from your accounting department and your marketing department, you would be able to have one document with multiple dashboards and or Excel sheets that then people can drill down into. So it gives a little more flexibility to be interactive for the viewer. They can drill into things. Additionally, PowerPoint is really intended, like we're using a PowerPoint right now, what you're seeing, to have a presenter to talk through it. Sway does its best when there isn't a presenter. You're able to lay it out in a way that a user can go through it, drill in, and reference it when needed, and it doesn't necessarily need a presenter. So those are just a couple of the reasons why, when you're thinking whether should I make this a Microsoft Sway or a PowerPoint, those are the couple of challenges you can give yourself to kind of determine what would be the right tool. All right, so let's get into it. So I'm going to open up, close out of here. So As with all the Microsoft 365 applications, I'm going to actually just start to show you where you can access it. So if you go to office.com, this is where all of your applications are going to live. You can see I've been using Sway, so it's right here. But if it's not listed there in your more recent applications, you can go up here to what we call the waffle, go to all apps, and then scroll down to Sway. We're going to open that up. And like I said before, Sway is completely cloud-based, so there is not a desktop application to download. So you can do everything right here in the web browser. So it's going to open up this page, which gives you a few different options. There are actually 4 ways that you can create a Sway. So we're going to go through some of the other ones. I'm going to demonstrate how to create a new blank Sway, but I just want to go through the other ways so you can kind of see that the other ways might be a little bit easier for you. So the first one, like I mentioned, is an internal newsletter. So I have the template showing. I'm going to click more templates here to show you there are actually over 23 templates. I think there is 23 templates that you can basically get a good outline for and then add your customization of photos and content. So like before, we talked about an internal newsletter. So I'm going to go ahead and create a Sway from a template by clicking on that. What it's going to do is give me a preview of this Sway. So I'll start scrolling down. This one is, you'll see there's multiple ways we can go side to side, up or down, but this one we're going to scroll down. And it kind of just gives you that base structure to build out this internal newsletter. You can see here they actually have embedded an Excel sheet. I can show you if you actually click on this, it will open it up. It's not going to do it because I don't actually have the Excel sheet. If I had that Excel sheet, it is a template, it would open it up into Excel. But this is just an example of how when something's embedded in, the user can actually drill down even deeper into it. But again, this is just going to give you that base outline. If this is, you can preview it and say, hey, this is something that I like, then we would just go ahead and click start editing the Sway. And it's going to pull it up here. And of course, there's an error. Let's try one more time, and I'm not sure why there's an error. We'll try a different one. Let's go back out of that. I'm gonna X out. Come back in. There we go. Preparing your template. So it just takes a second, and then it will load up. And then it gets you right into the editor. We'll get into all of this in a second when we start creating the Sway, but that's how you would actually be able to go find a template that seems close to what you're trying to accomplish and then create it from a template. So be sure to check those out. The next way I wanted to cover, if we go back to Sway here, excuse me, I lost my mouse, is from a document. So it actually supports PDF documents, Word documents, other PowerPoint presentations. What we're going to do is we're going to upload a document. I was going to do this one. This is basically a how-to that we've written on how to connect via VPN for right here. Sorry, it's a PDF. So it's a how-to that we created for connecting to VPN. So if I upload this document, double click it. What it's going to do is out of that PDF, it's going to create, again, a base structure based on what it's seeing in that PDF. It will need some editing. You'll need to make it, maybe customize it to make it prettier and that thing. But it does give you that base. It adds in all this, the images from the document as well. So you can see there were screenshots throughout the document with the how-to. This, I think, would be a great way for many organizations. I know we do it as well. We've built how-tos in Word. We're big on process and documentation. So if we have a bunch of Word templates or PDFs that we've created for how-tos, that we could get them up into the cloud and do them through Sway by just uploading, and then it will just take a little bit of manipulation to maybe get them. There might be imperfections where the text isn't always lining up. So, but a lot less work than trying to create them from scratch. So this is a great example of an easy way to take something that you've already spent work on to get that into Sway to be able to share and embed and use it in other ways. So, all right. So the next way, I'm going to go back here. And this is actually kind of hidden. So I'm going to go I'm actually going to go into a sway and then go to the home because it's kind of hidden. All right, so it's not going to let me do it that way. Let's go through more templates. We'll do through this way. So there's a home of sway, which we were just seeing, but then when you're in a sway, if you clicked home here, this is what I was saying, this page, this landing page is somewhat hidden. This is the My Sway page. So you have to actually go into a sway to get to this page. But this page actually features a fourth way to, or this is our third way, but I'm going to show you four, to create a sway, which is start from a topic. So what this does is if you had a particular presentation that you were putting together and it was on a specific topic. I'm going to use, for example, marketing strategies. So let's say I was putting together a presentation on our marketing strategy. What it does is it's powered by Wikipedia, so it will search marketing strategies and it will again build that outline or that structure based on what it's seeing out there. For like most marketing strategies have a mission, vision, and values. So you're going to see as I scroll through here, it's going to give us some definitions, but it's going to create the categories, like the 4 fundamentals of a marketing strategy. If I come down here, I believe it goes into the mission, vision, and values and developing those. So it just gives you a base outline. This one might be less related to what we'd be doing in the business industry, but I think this could be really helpful for some of those broader topics where you just want to know where to start. So I thought it was worth sharing that you can do that. Play around with it and search different topics in there, because you might get some really good ideas on, oh, I didn't think to include that in this particular presentation, but it might give you some additional ideas. All right, let's go back to home. So now we're going to actually start creating a sway. So I am going to create new. This is the final way that we can create it, which is really going to give you a blank canvas. For me, I find this one of the easier ways besides uploading a document, because this is just how my brain works and I can structure the presentation from start to finish. But like I said, the other ways might give you a little inspiration if you're kind of wondering where to go with something. So for the sake of today's demonstration, what I wanted to go through was actually a how-to. For many of our clients who are on this might seem very familiar. I'm going to go through how our clients can request support from us, from our help desk team. This is a document, we actually had it put together in a PDF. We shared on onboarding to just let clients know how they can request the support from us through our ticket system and or calling and things like that. So I think this would be a great use case for, we want this to be a link that we're able to share to clients on their onboarding and after. So that's going to be the example that we're going through today. So as you can see here, this is kind of my title. These boxes kind of represent what they call cards. So you need to have a title card. So I'm going to actually have some content just built out here just to make it hopefully go a little faster so you're not all watching me type. So this is going to be titled How to Request Support from My Tech Partners. And you can see you can add a background image here. So I'm actually going to click on that. And it opens up this box over here that gives you quite a few different options. You can see down here that you can pick an image from your OneDrive for Business, My Device, which is what I'm going to be doing here in a second. But it also gives you, you can search Bing, YouTube, Wikipedia. So you could search different things. It even gives you recommendations. You could search My Tech Partners. And one thing to note, see how this Creative Commons only is checked? It's because what it's going to return when you search that is only images that businesses have given authorization for you to use in your presentations. So there are copyright infringements that we need to be aware of. So if you have this checked, this is what was given as you can use this. If you uncheck it, it gives you a much bigger library, but just be aware of the copyright laws and just be careful with that. So obviously I work with My Tech Partners. I have authorization to use My Tech Partners, so I can go ahead and use those. But I just wanted to note that. So here's a bunch of different images that I could use. However, I do have one that I'm going to use, so I'm going to click down on this. You can see you can pick through all of these. The YouTube, Bing images. I'm going to go to My Device and select actually my background image there. So I recommend building out your content first before you start worrying about the design, because really this is about content and leading the user through a story or through a presentation. So focus on the content first and then we can worry about the design. All right, so I have my header card here, so I'm going to go ahead and add. I want another card, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So every card has to have a heading. So I'm going to click on heading 1. There it goes. And you see how this is a separate section than this? So you can add within a section, but that header just needs to be on its own, and then you can start adding sections. So this section, we're going to kind of do almost like a table of contents. What are we going to learn here? So I'm going to add this first level heading, it's saying, and I'm going to say, let's explore. I don't necessarily want an image behind that, so I'm going to actually click in here, and I'm going to add an image. You can either drag the image over here, or like I said, I'm going to go down to my devices and go pick an image. And I'm going to use this laptop picture. You can add a caption. You can add text here. However, I'm going to add some text next to it. So I'm going to click here, add text. So now see how this is all building within this section. So that's what I want, because this is the Let's Explore section. So I'm going to come over here and just grab some text that I already have. And here, make sure I get that in there. Now you'll notice some of these are bold. So with Sway, you don't have much editing capability on the fonts, like changing this particular line to be 24 point and this one to be 12 point. It kind of is all the same. What you can do is you can emphasize text. So if you hover over this and then click emphasize, that will basically make it bold. You can also basically accent the text, which would be italicized. You can do bullets and numbers in these text fields as well as hyperlink. But that's kind of the extent of it. There is these boxes over here. So what this is going to do is kind of set the overall size of your text. So if you want the emphasis, it says on this particular text to be subtle, you would select this one, and I'll kind of show you the difference in a second. And if you wanted it to be a little bit more in your face, you would select this larger one here. So I'm going to select the smaller one for the time being, but I'll kind of show you the difference here in a second. So this is my kind of table of contents that I wanted to build. So I am now done with this particular section. So rather than coming down to the bottom here and clicking the plus to add to this section, I'm actually going to close the section, and I'm going to add a new heading, which then pops open another section. So let's add one more here. We're going to title this one Need Help. So we're going to talk about the ways that MyTech can support you. So I am going to want an image behind this. So I'm going to actually click in here, go over to my device, and I'm going to select this image. All right, so now this image is going to be kind of behind the Need Help, and you'll see this in a second, kind of as a header image. So if you're up, it's not going to show the entire image. So what I'm going to click into is details here, and it will kind of open this up a little bit more so that you can manipulate the heading and the background separately. So if I click on the background, it gives me an option of a focus point. So if I click on focus point, you can see it's going to give you kind of a preview of what it might look like on both mobile and on the computer. It tries to pick the best layout, but what you can do is you can either tell it the entire image is important and it will shrink it down to make sure that the entire image is displayed, or you can add focus points, like if the phone was very important or the keyboard was important, you can add multiple focus points. I recommend probably just adding one, just because you might confuse it if you're adding them all over. So I'm just going to add that I want my focus point on the phone. And then I'm going to go ahead and X out of that, and I will shrink that down. So now I've got my header, but now I actually want like a subheading. So I'm going to come in here again. I'm adding it right inside this card. I'm going to go to text, and there's a heading too. So here's my subheader. And again, it's pretty limited in the customization, but I think that's what makes it nice and clean as you're going through it. So we're going to add our subheader here, and then I want to add a little bit of text. So I'm going to add some text right in here. All right, so I've got that built in. Now, basically, I want to show the 3 different ways that a client can request support from us. So I have actually went and designed some images with the 3 different ways. So we have a help center, we have an email, and you can call. So what I want to do now is I want to add, let's see, I want to add those images as a group. So I'm going to click here. Sorry, it's not wanting to scroll. I'm going to go over to group, and I'm going to create an automatic group. So what this does is it just creates another section that I'm going to be able to house multiple pieces of content. So I want to add content here. I'm going to add an image. I'm going to go to my device, and I'm going to say help center, email, and call. These are the 3 images that I've created for that section, and we're going to open them. And you can say it's going to put all 3 images into that section, and I can arrange them as I'd like them. So I would prefer to have, oh, it's got all 3 selected. That's why it won't let me move it. All right, so we're going to put this one up here, and then I want call at the bottom. So I'm going to stick that one underneath. All right, so here's just a base of kind of what we built. You can see, so we have 2 sections. Sorry, 3 sections, the header, section 1 and section 2, and then we have things inside of those sections. So I recommend getting everything built out like that. So now I want to see what it looks like. So I'm going to click the play button up here. So again, this is just a generic theme that it's given it. So this particular theme is going right to left. So I'm clicking through, and I don't necessarily like the way that that's laid out. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit. I'm going to come over to design. There we go. And I'm going to go up to styles here. So now I'm going to edit the style of this. So here are the 3 options in which you can scroll through. So like we talked about before, vertical, this one is set to horizontal, or you can have it be the traditional slide presentation that you would expect from PowerPoint. I want this particular one to be vertical, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then you can see there are plenty of kind of like preset designs here that you can choose from. For this particular one, I'm going to click customize because I want to add my own branding. So you can actually tell it to pick colors out of some of the imagery. So the color inspiration, it could be from imagery, or you can add your own. So I'm actually going to put in my hex color for the logo here. Select that particular color, and then it's going to give me the color palettes I have to choose from. So I'm going to go, let's just say this one. And you can kind of just pick through all of these to kind of find your favorite one. So additionally, if you want to see how it looks, you can click this remix button, and it will just keep flipping through different ideas until you find one that you like. So we'll leave it on that one for now. And then you can see as I scroll through how it's set up. So it set those up side by side. We've got our header image and things like that. So you can really play with the design after the content is already in there, if that makes sense. So to kind of go a little deeper, I'm actually going to go back and open up. I've actually created this full presentation already. So I want to open that up to show you a couple other features. Let's see. Okay, so here is, I fully built out all of the different cards for this one. So one thing that I wanted to go through was embedding other Microsoft 365 applications into this. So I'm actually going to go to the bottom here, and I'm going to click here. I'm actually going to get rid of this to show you. So here is at the end, I basically am asking, like, actually, I'm going to delete that. I apologize. We're going to go to this one. So at the end of this presentation, I want their feedback. How was this how-to presentation? Was it easy to follow? Was it not? So I am going to delete this part. So what I did is create a header here with an image in the background saying we want your feedback. Before the session started, I created a form. that was asking for information about how easy was this to follow? Is there anything we can improve? Are there other tutorials or how-tos you would like to see? So I created this form ahead of time. I'm going to click share. And you can see this option here with the little code buttons. This is to embed. So it's going to bring up the code that I can copy. And then I'm going to go back to my Sway. There it is. And I'm going to click the plus icon inside of that section. I'm going to actually see if it will let me scroll down a little further. Nope. And I'm going to select media. And you'll see there's an option here to embed. You also see there's various other options. You can embed video, audio. When you select audio, it actually even lets you record your voice right now to embed it in there. But I'm going to embed a third-party application. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And then all you have to do is embed the code. You just copy and paste the code right there. Again, you have the same options you do with the text and the image to select the emphasis on that. And I want that to be full screen at the end. So I'm going to select the largest one here. All right, I'm going to click out of it. And then I'm going to click play to kind of show you what it looks like and show you a couple other things. One thing to note, what I really appreciate about Sway is it breaks it up as you're building those cards, it breaks it up into different categories. So you can see down here, there's this little icon. Everybody see this? So when I click this, it actually gives you a really nice table of contents to be able to just skip and jump to different sections in the Sway. So you can see here was the let's explore, need help. It starts building all the way through that. And I actually want to go, we want more information. So see, it jumps me right back to the we want feedback. Kind of scroll up so you can see how that works. So here was the how can we make IT easy, the 3 different ways. I then put in the different sections here for how to submit a service ticket. You can see there's images. You can actually drill into the images to see them larger. And then you come down. And again, just more kind of how to that step by step. And at the end here, I actually embedded a YouTube video as well. So for more information, for anybody who's partaking in these, you know that we upload them to YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel so that you can keep up to date on those. And then what I just showed, I'll go to the bottom here, is the feedback form. So scroll all the way to the bottom here, and you can see it embedded that form right in there so people can actually partake in that form right at the end of your presentation. Awesome. Okay, so next thing I wanted to show you was, okay, now you've built this out, how do I share it? So let's go into the edit. And just like many other applications, there is a share button here. So I'm going to go ahead and click share. And there's various ways you can share it. Just like the other Microsoft apps, you can specify whether it's specific people or groups, those only within your organization or anyone with the link. And you can actually just get a URL that you could post in Teams. You could send in emails, various ways that you can use those URLs. Another way that you can do it is to get a visual link. So we'll actually create this little visual that you can then put this into an email or on your Facebook page, and you can just copy that and then use that to share it as well. Go back up here. The last thing I wanted to show you with sharing was you can actually embed your sways in your website. In SharePoint, there's various ways you can embed them in a tab in your Teams. I'm going to show you quickly how to embed them into, for instance, like a website. So I'm going to go back there. Sorry about that because I did that quick without talking through it. Click share. I'm going to hover over get embed code. It's going to provide this code. I'm going to copy it to my clipboard. And then I'm going to go up to the MyTech website. I've created this Microsoft Sway demo page. I'm going to search for HTML, just a widget to plug in where I can post that code. So it's going to give me that. I post that code in there. It's going to think a little bit. And then I'm going to come down so we can preview that website. There it goes. It's going to load. And you can see now I have the Microsoft, sorry, it's that scrolling too. But you can see I actually embedded it in the website. And if you know anything about code, you can customize the width and the height of that actual widget. But this way it's actually embedded right in the website. So one more thing I wanted to show you really quickly before we get ready to open it up for Q&A. I'm going to go back to, let's close this. I'm going to go back to my sways. As once you shared these, and they're actually being viewed, Microsoft Sway also has analytics built into it. So you can see this particular one I shared, and I have 4 total views. So we'll start collecting data on how many people glanced at it, they actually deep read it, how many actually completed, maybe the form at the end, how much time they spent on the page, just to give you a little insight into how that is doing. Just a nice, easy way that it does it automatically for you. So just wanted to definitely demonstrate that as well. So. All right, so I'm just going to go through this slide really quickly, just kind of a summary of what we kind of covered today. So Sway versus PowerPoint, kind of interactive. If you want people to be able to drill down into the content and something lightweight and really structured, Sway is going to be the way to go. Creating a Sway, we went through the 4 different ways. You can do it from a document, from a topic search, from a template, or you can create from scratch. And then ways to make the Sway interactive, like we talked about, we embedded that Microsoft form. You could have YouTube videos, you could have stream videos, Power BI, you can embed Excel documents, really a lot of different things. In the follow-up email, I'll actually include a link to all the different formats, because this also includes Facebook and LinkedIn feeds, and there's many other applications that you can embed into it. And then lastly is sharing and embedding. You could do it versus a link, a visual link, or embedding like we just showed you. So the recommended actions, items, next steps, really identify, think of the different how-to documents and or presentations or maybe meetings that you're in where you have to present information. If you start to think about those in a way of something that's repeatable over and over and over again that you may want to share and have people be able to kind of go through them on their own without you presenting, that might be a great opportunity for Sway. So start to kind of identify maybe some of those and pick one that would be a good starting point. Take baby steps. Pick one, just start with one, see how it goes, see how people in your organization interact with it or your customers interact with it before you decide to take on the gambit of all your how-to documentation or others. And write down 1 to 5 takeaways right now, like some way that you can use it right now just to start learning how to use it and really pushing yourself to adopt it. And then lastly, just join us for a future virtual training sessions. We're hosting them once a week right now. We do have our Power user group this Friday. For those in the organization that are Power Microsoft 365 users, we encourage you to join that session. And then next Friday as well, we have a team members open forum. So if you've been trying these tools over the last month and you have some questions or you want us to show how to demonstrate something, join us next Friday, and we'll be sure to help you through some of those questions. So that's what I have. So thank you very much for attending. Sorry I went a few minutes over, so if you have to drop off right now, totally understand. Thank you for attending. Otherwise, if anybody else is able to stick around, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. Nate?